Hello.
Hola, hola.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Alex. How are you?
Oh, I'm a little bit not being myself like in the last couple of days, but overall I'm pretty
Okay.
okay.
Oh, good. In this Gemini world, I'm not asking much, but yeah, Gemini is recording, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But
That's
I've
okay.
been also quite busy. Yesterday was quite crazy day,
Mm-hmm.
so I had a kind of double, triple bookings kind of thing. So I couldn't join today.
Well, as was said, March is a busy month.
Yeah. Particularly yesterday was quite tough. And on the Friday, we have holiday and festival periods of like Friday also, I won't be able to join.
Okay.
But I'm here today. Hello,
Uh,
hello. Hi, Tex. Hi, Sumit, Yaman, Atosi. Great to see you. Aditya. Okay, let's wait for a minute or so more. At least 1 minute. Nice to meet you Sumit, here as well.
did we do a round of introductions in this? Hey, Newman, nice to see you. Thanks for joining.
Hey,
Uh, so new members joining, maybe it makes sense to recap a little bit on the working group and what we're doing, what we've been doing, and what's the plan for today.
That's right. Maybe we can give a quick intro from our side.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, 2 minutes or so. Let me give my intro. I'm Uday Solanki, and I'm developer advocate with Intersect Open Source Committee. So, this is, we are talking here about developer experience working group. We're inviting developers who want to participate, to contribute as well as learn, and excited about open source. So this is an initiative, and yeah, look forward working with you guys. So that's quick intro about me. Alex, to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex, also developer advocate at Intersect. We are looking to actually like are looking to make Cardano interesting for people to join and develop on, because this is one of the most important things in the modern world. I think is like humans who are able to do stuff that artificial intelligence is unable to do. And so if we want talented, motivated developers on Cardano, we should think about how we make Cardano attractive for this type of developers. And this is a particular thing with the developer experience working group as well. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, a quick one-liner, two-liner introduction from everyone will be nice. So we can start with alphabetically. Aditya.
hello. I'm Aditya Solanki, and I'm a developer on Cardano. I've been working with Haskell, Plutus, as well as a little bit of off-chain code as well. Currently, one of the projects that I'm working on is Cardano VSC. So it's regarding a VS Code extension for Haskell as well as Plutus,
Yeah, thank
specifically
you.
for Cardano. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So just quickly intervening here, that like Aditya and Gaurav, I'm aware they're working on these things, so maybe they will demonstrate this extension, what they've done. So that will be one of the agenda today. But let's go through the introduction. Next, Atosi.
Hello everyone. I'm so sorry. I'm outside and I learn Cardano documents mainly, and I'm working with a project. So I'm just learning and also just using the developing parts, how I can use the Haskell code and the floaters. That's it for me. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Gaurav, I'm not sure you can speak. If you can, then fine. Otherwise, I understand you also a bit outside.
Yes, sir. I am right now outside, and I am also the Cardano developer. Currently, 6 months of experience. Right now, working on the Cardano VSC extension, in which I am. Uh, I have also faced some difficulty on the fixing the issue. Sometimes right now in window I fixing the issue, and today I all install the Cardano node on the Windows. So problem sometimes comes, sometimes you fix.
Okay. Little bit voice issue, Gaurav, but yeah, thanks. Newman, nice to see you here. Would you like to?
Sure. Hey, everyone. A lot of folks that I don't know here. Been involved in Cardano's and Project Catalyst since Fund 7 or 8. I'm a junior developer, producer. Most of the time I spend over at Gimbal Labs working on projects such as the Asteria game project from TX Pipe. And most of my focus is on documenting in collaborative environment.
Great. Thank you, Newman. Sumit, if you can speak.
Yeah, sorry for the noise. Hi everyone, my name is Sun. I'm also a Cardano developer working on the on-chain off-chain part. I have experience leading it on the smart contract as well as off-chain tools like Mesos, LucidJS. That's all about me.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Good, good. So that's quick intro. I think text don't need any intro. um, as it's developer experience group, working group discussion, so we would need more inputs from the working group members. Quite, I think 2-3 of the members joined last working group as well, so they are not new, but a couple of you joined kind of first time possibly in this call. We do run every week this working group, but 2 different time zone. So this is more covering kind of Europe and east side like India and East Asia side, and another one we have covering more of US time zone, kind of few hours later than this, but that these are happening alternate week. So one can join both or anyone which is suitable to their timing. Last time we discussed a lot about the various challenges being faced by the developers, and there were some good suggestions as well. Part in this scheme, I think the one of the input we had was like developers, when they get started, they do face a bit of issue on terms of where and how to get started, and that starting point become one of the most difficult part. And not takers okay here. Yes, it's okay, and I think taxi is also taking. No, okay. I think the taxi is taking another notes. I think yeah. That's a meeting is being recorded as well, I think. Anyway, so so we know like TX5 have a online sandbox as well, and some of the people I think have, including myself, we used it. That which is a great tool. There has been another idea around that. Maybe you can say that not everybody new come will be aware about the TX5. So how about some of these extension being available in their favorite IDE, which their developers are mostly used to it. And there are the two IDEs, one identified here like VSC or VS Code is the most used IDE. And then second, probably, I don't have the data for second one. First one, I'm sure. The second one, most likely PyCharm. At least it is definitely the number one for Python developers. So in this, there's been an effort to build some extensions and some developers tools. So I understand that is that these projects are in progress in development right now. It's not completed, but I would ask Aditya if you can explain a little bit, or if you can show any screen to that how Cardano VSC and Cardano PYC, what are the key functionalities available as of now and how it's working. If anything you can display. So we give you about 10 minutes time to kind of cover it if you can.
Yes, sure. Let me just share my screen. 1 second. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible now. Okay, so this is VS Code extension ID without the extension. So it looks pretty simple. There's no support for Plutus as such. You can go into extension place and search for Cardano. Usually you get some extensions, but they are for off-chain code, for mesh, as well as for Marlow. But for Haskell and Plutus, if someone just wants to start in core Plutus and just learn from that, they don't have any starting point. So for that, this extension is made, and with a simple install, people can start working on specifically Haskell and Plutus. In future, we are also implementing support for CLI as well as deployment, but currently it's mainly around 3 points. First one being the syntax highlighting, as you can see over here. Second one is code completion. So all these import statements, which import to use, and all those things are often lost or forgotten by developers because it's either they're already in the code, or while working for a long time, they forget all the things that they need to import. That referencing and those are part of code completion that we provide, as well as we have created a tab. So for now, it has API integration with a blockchain explorer. So that allows us to go to the website and let me just show it once. It will open in the default browser a blockchain explorer for Cardano. So this will be Cardano scan. So over here, we can query things from the website without needing to log in or do anything. So this is for someone who is completely new. But let's say I want to use it from over here as well. The blockchain query, querying transaction, querying data from the blockchain. So which is, you have to set up a node and get things running for that. But there are APIs that we have integrated over here. Once you enter the Cardano scan API, it will allow you to query the blockchain directly. So I'll just run through the basic command of getting the latest block. So that requires no parameters like a transaction ID. It will just get you the latest block in the Cardano blockchain currently. So running that would give us this, which is the latest block now. So if we run this again after a few minutes, of course, it will change as new blocks keep getting added. So In that way, we can query a bunch of other commands as well, and we can get transaction details and other things like balance info, asset info, policy ID, uh, block detail, committee member, derep list, and all those things can be done from within VS Code, and all the outputs will be displayed for people over here. So for this, they don't require much. They just need to go to Cardano Scan and register once, and get an API key, which they have to enter once. After that, it will work seamlessly. And let's say they don't want to go and register, so they can just use the website directly through the button over here. So these are the functionality currently that there are, but there are additional functionalities for the future.
Yeah, can you
like
tell what are the coming up?
Yeah, soon we are already working on it, but it's not deployed. It's not publicly available right now. We are working on deploying smart contracts through a button over here. So you don't have to worry about which commands to run. You just click the deploy button and it will compile it for you. And it will ask you for the necessary details and deploy it on the blockchain. So currently this extension works for both Windows as well as Linux, but we are having some troubles implementing deploying part on Windows. So we are trying to find workarounds for that.
Okay, good. And yeah, if anything you can mention about it, about the PyCharm related extension, even you just saw the marketplace, or what is it?
Yeah, PyCharm, I don't have it currently installed, so it would be difficult to show me here, for me to show it over here. But I can show it maybe next time. But the general idea of PyCharm is exactly the same amount of functionalities would be available there. Of course, the UI will be very different. I'm more familiar with this, but PyCharm UI would be different than this. I can speak a bit more about the VSC extension, but should I?
Yeah, go ahead. You have still 2-3 minutes.
Okay. So as you can see, there are buttons over here for two buttons for Cardano VSC. Both are for API integration. One is to integrate it within VS Code, and second is for website. Similarly, we are planning on adding more buttons and functionalities and screens over here that will allow for wallet mimicking. So let's say you have a CLI wallet with public key and secret key, right? So that those things will be created in a directory. You give your full directory address, and it would take it there and mimic like a browser wallet how transactions work, how you can see your wallet and how things correlate.
Okay,
As well.
okay, Aditya. So thanks. The future functionalities maybe we'll discuss bit more later on. I understand. Thanks. Now, I would possibly open up this particular kind of the point with the developers to give any inputs they have or thoughts. So region we included here, like this is a developer tools, and based on some of the feedback it is developed, and let's see if the developers would be appreciating these kind of the tools, or these are not required. So some feedback from the developers, or we can take maybe next 4 or 5 minutes, depending on your interest. So any feedback. So Aditya and Gaurav been working on it, but if any other feedback from anyone. First, I would ask Alex, you even like, I mean, how you find it, or any specific comment from you, Alex?
Thank you. So the features are like, first I see syntax highlighting, right?
Yes.
And the buttons improve like
Code,
user experience for developers.
code completion as well. So it would suggest specific modules and specific imports regarding to Plutus. And like let's take
Can you just
Ledger.
show that command? Yeah, like this is when the code completion you didn't show it. Yeah.
Do you have module navigation? So like, for example, if my
Yes.
something defined elsewhere, I can click and like move there and see where it's implemented.
Yes. that can be done.
Okay.
Should I just use here? So these are the modules. So these are imported from the dist file. Once you run a Cabal build, it will create a dist file. I think I've not actually just for testing. I didn't really import the modules yet. I'm just using the syntax highlighting the default modules. So once you run Cabal build, it would create a dist file over here, and it would import all the modules over there. And from that, you can have referencing modules. So you click it, and it will take you to the module file as well. So
Nice, some good features, yeah.
yeah, so for that you have to have the module installed. Like npm init, for example, is something that you have to run. For over here, it will be Cabal build, right?
I don't understand. You say you will be able to deploy a smart contract on chain from the VS Code. But how would actually this work in the production environment? Because normally you would be testing your smart contract extensively and then deploying it with like Cabal build and Nix and
Yeah, so basically the idea is to have a button that would do Cabal build and Nix commands. Nix is not required for deploying; it's just for building, right?
I don't think it's required. Like the last our conversation was that it is required only if you are going into certain certification levels
Yeah.
of your smart contract if you want to make security claims about your application.
Yeah, so for that we can add a bit later. Currently, it's just to get it easily deployed. So there would be a button that would run all the Cabal required commands to build and deploy.
Yeah. And I think that functionality is not yet available, but yeah, there's a bit of announcement that's coming up. Work is going on it. But idea, I think, is to make the life easier for developer as much as possible, kind of the things. Still, they are programmer developers, so they will know the code, they will have the concept or some ideas, but just making life a little bit more easy, more automation for them, kind of, than what is currently available. Yeah. Good. Thanks, Alex, for some feedback as well. Any other feedback from anyone? Yeah.
Yeah, this is Newman, and I do think that it is to be able to use that Cardano scan API and have it available, without having to like go out, open a new window, go in Cardano scan just to get some of those details, because they're obfuscated in the front end. To have to navigate the website, it's a barrier. It cuts down on sort of efficiency. Yeah, and I'm looking through the, you've got a really nice README file on the GitHub repo, and yeah, it seems like a pretty good tool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's already encouraging, man, for the team here. So, okay, and hopefully the other new developers find it useful and, can it and we together build, right? We are the developer and we are building it for the developers as well, right?
Right.
So that's, I think, the idea and plan here.
One quick question: is it, if you don't mind, just a quick question: is it it works on just .hs Haskell files, or can you
HS as well as .plutus? So we are targeting both of the files.
Okay,
Plutus,
perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Good. And you couldn't show it, but there's a similar thing is built for PyCharm IDE as well. So that's also kind of done. Similar level progress, but some more additional functionalities are being built for both. So good. I mean, this we are discussing right now in this developer experience working group, I think is the right place, because this is tool for the developers, clearly kind of very much needed for the new developers. We will definitely should be kind of having a dedicated kind of workspace later on, taking broader level community through it kind of thing, and kind of publicize a bit more. But right now, I think it's still in progress development. So we'll kind of hold here. So thank you, Aditya. Thanks, Gaurav, for working on this. I think this was one of the agenda we had today. I'm aware that a couple of developers like Srijit and Ryan, they are working, and also Sumit, they're working on also with their feedback, rather, I would say, that for the new developers, what are the other expectations kind of thing, or, from the learning point of view. So last time we asked you guys and you given some feedback, I think the one of the basic or key feedback was like, can we have everything in one place about the Cardano, because right now they're jumping again from the knowledge and documentation point of view, right? So they're jumping from one website to another and try to get, and I guess they're getting a lot of documentation, yet they're not sure they got the completeness and this is the right one and things like that. So that was the feedback, and it was from the multiple developers, not from one person. And I think we had some idea, and we as a developer experience group and also developer advocate, we kind of trying to work on that. And I'm aware like Srijit, Sumit, Ryan, they been working on some suggestions, right? Some of the document they worked on, like in their point of view, the flow of the topics, kind of the things, and those kind of material maybe can be helpful. I think I'm not ready. I received one. I have not reviewed yet, not ready to exactly share, but maybe in the next discussion we'll share it. But just updating the group that kind of the work is happening to just, and we do have the repository for developer experience group. So eventually we plan to kind of drive some of these knowledge and documentations through that. So that's coming up, and we need to kind of again discuss and plan it how we can help the developers more. Yes, to you, Alex.
Thank you. I was thinking about what we discussed in the last meeting and some feedback points. So first is someone was proposing to create documentation for Cardano as inputs for the working group. And this is a very good proposal. And I think we could make it even better if we were to specify which kind of documentation we would be investing in. And I would be so bold to suggest to support project-based learning on Cardano, because this approach has been only received positive feedback from many sources. It's quite an innovative educational approach in its own. And we've had the success at Gimbal Labs with developing these projects and using them to onboard people, including myself. I came through Pluto's project-based learning. It's been really nice. And there are some proposals for new project-based learning experiences. So second point that I want to add is about centralized documentation source, which I do not support. It's been tried many times, and just new, pieces get created. And I think a more systemic solution is having a place to ask questions. There was Stack Exchange, but now not many developers use Stack Exchange. And from what I see, for example, in the Nix community, there is a practice of people being just available online in certain times, like office hours that we have. specifically for asking questions about programming. Gimbal Labs runs these sessions, but there's a thing that the onboarding process depends on which kind of documentation we are using, and so people who are going through PBL, they're able to join they're able to ask questions at Gimbal Labs, and they get all the information that they need and the right documentation, because people who are continuously involved with development, they know good sources of documentation which are stale, which are more up to date, and so this is a more difficult solution, but I think it will be like hopefully, you know, more of a long-term solution for this problem. Yeah, and so yeah, and this ties into the third point and finding ways to start. And you know, I had the proposal with a like fairly offensive name. Let's do, for example, Twitter space like Cardano for Dummies. You know, where we just hang out regularly, like in this call, but specifically, you know, for people who want to start developing on Cardano, something like this.
Nothing offensive about it, I guess. So, nothing offensive, I find. But yeah, that's a good idea. The last one, I think, yeah, we need to probably plan more about it. And yeah, I haven't come across, and I don't know if anything already exists, but I haven't come across anything like that. And I think this could become popular. Yes. Going back to the second point, you mentioned about the centralized documentation. Understand your point of view, like you can agree, disagree, and your logic is right in that sense. But I would say that, like, as feedback is coming, let's try to see what the best way to address is. If I ask, okay, everything I want centralized, that doesn't mean exactly we need to do centralized, but like we need to go to the core why they're saying and what does it mean. So one of my thought will be that, like, we don't need to build and put all the, let's say, textual things or everything material in one website, rather than maybe even putting some links to the kind of the nice documentations kind of the thing, or structuring the, okay, these things are the things, and for this you go there, for this you go there kind of thing, right? Like, so we may be still letting them to go and things, but that could be the one way. Just thinking is one suggestion, and that even could be deciding on, even in developer experience group folder, or in a new website, or in Intersect, or we need to identify and decide it. Like we last time discussed, really, I mean, still the Cardano.org developer portal comes pretty good, and I myself refer to it and refer to new developer as well. But again, after going through that many developers, feedback still is there, it's not sufficient, or they're still lost. So that means there is a need to kind of work more on that. And in that context only, I'll say that, that will be, for example, one of the resource, but if there are other resources these people finding, and also a systematic kind of way of learning, then we can possibly contribute to the group of the developers as we are kind of here. And going to the first point, I totally agree on the project-based learning. That's a great way to learn. And all these 1, 2, 3 things, all the 3 points you mentioned, they complement each other, kind of the thing. So I think, yes, all these things are related and need to work. The question is how we can get started. Now, on the second point, which you kind of a little bit disagree, there is some work done I saw that's more on the topics. I think it's still not putting all the documentation in one place, but there's some of the topics or the structure of the learning, I think they're talking mostly. So once I have a little bit more kind of insight on that, maybe I would ask one of these developers to present it. But I understand that, Ryan and what's his name, Srijit, Sumit, they are training 4 or 5 new developers. They kind of going through the plan, and they're trying to kind of utilize the same program they're developing, kind of the thing. And their they're not really getting any big help. Otherwise, they just mostly basing their kind of the basis of that learning program is that their own experience, kind of 6 months, 1 year ago, kind of thing. How did they go? Kind of the difficulties faced and what they believe is now right way to do it. So again, that we can take a Gen 1 input and then we kind of mix with the other inputs or take it to the different level. But I think that maybe in the next meeting they should be able to present a bit more around that.
Super. I'm not opposed as strongly as to object, I just, so there's probably like better solution which requires more, which is more resource intensive. So there's trade-offs, and there's, I'm not saying that we shouldn't do this. Yeah, so.
Okay. We have a couple of members, other than Newman also, yeah, so joined the first time in this group, at least that's what I think I noticed. So Srijit, I don't think that you joined last time. Any feedback, any experience you want to share it as a developer experience, how the experience has been on the Cardano, or any suggestion you have it? I'm aware that you, I think, participated in the developer experience survey we kind of run earlier. So thank you for your feedback. Thanks to all of you who have kind of given the feedback in developer experience survey. So we have the data. We're kind of trying to bring the action item out of those. But as we are here in this forum, Srijit, if you want to say share any experience or any specific point. It's in mute. I'm not sure you can talk or not. And same goes to Samhita, in case you want to share any kind of your learning experience or any suggestion if you have.
Sir, yes. Hello, everyone. So my learning experience for Cardano would be a bit different than everyone else, I think. So mainly I have learned from the floor when I joined. So maybe my juniors were more experienced in Cardano than me, and from then I learned from their experience. And the thing is, I started maybe from a very advanced level than they have started. So that's why I think it was advantage for me as not for them. But right now I am leveraging more in Cardano, and there are so many ways I can see in Cardano how they are like building so fast, and I'm very pleased with Cardano too. So for now, we are looking into um, every ways like token minting, from token minting to building NFTs, and also to the liquidity pool and everything. So these are very I would not say challenging, but very interesting things to collaborate with. And yes, I'm very much happy to share my experience. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, the community, to give all the documents and give all the help that we need. We are really following you guys, and we are very helpful. You guys are very helpful to us too.
Thank you. That means a lot, Samhita. Thank you for that. And you also, I'm not sure you joined any other working group, but I haven't seen last time. So do you want to share any kind of suggestion or any experience with the other fellow developers?
Sure. I do have some experience with project-based learning, and I'm a big supporter of it, especially as it's been developed and implemented at the Gimbal Labs. Gimbal Labs is creating a model for this type of thing, and I'm curious if what everyone's understanding of PBL is, and how it works. And just as a little caveat, as I went through your documentation on this working group, or in the GitHub, that you had an excellent README, which is really always something that I look at and you had tutorial and project. And really that's in my mind, the key of a PBL, is that there is some type of structured tutorial course where there are steps to, like, first do this and get started, and then do the middle, and then do the end, and then there is a project that you can do on your own, or you bring your own project. That's the project-based learning. And then actually what the last speaker, Samit, talked about, that it's done in a cohort, and so working in a community, which generally is a decentralized thing, meaning that we all, as communities of learners, we all help each other. So those are a couple of points about project-based learning and some ideas.
Great. Thank you for sharing your kind of experience as well as your kind of the thoughts. Good. I guess most other people have kind of joined last time, but if anyone else want to share any suggestions or input that today's conversation. Alex, back to you.
Thank
I
you.
see your hand raised is from earlier, or not sure now?
No, it's now. No. So for about the project-based learning, my experience was different from humans, actually. For me, core pieces of project-based learning are actually, I wasn't working in a group. I came to Gimbal Labs late after the cohort was finished, and I was working alone. It was pretty cool. Just people were hanging out in regular sessions, and I was showing up to live coding, which was really helpful. And this was one of the best things ever. So we had live coding twice a week. And it gave me opportunity to just join and first listen in, and then start doing tasks. So for the essence of project-based learning, actually, for me, is when there is a tutorial, but actually the tutorial is missing, and it is the project-based learning learner's task to come up, with the student learning targets, which is like, what am I doing? And actually write the project-based learning in a process of figuring out how to complete the task at hand. And why is it important? I think it's because it teaches problem solving, the essential skill, because when you following a tutorial, that's not a project-based learning course. It's well, it is, but it's not that much fun. Like the real thing is about often solving things that have never been done before, and so that's tutorial is missing or out of date most of the time, right? Like it's not enough to just read the tutorial to figure out what the task that the developer has. And so that is one of, but I understand that this is a very kind of a specific understanding of project-based learning. Most people, if you'd like to learn more about it, there's like this issue open in the group. And actually, I need to add some documentation because I thought that's where I have collected what is a project-based learning, but I see now that it doesn't exist there. So I will add some documentation for people interested in to read about what is project-based learning.
Yeah, I think that's kind of Newman saying that, like, it's a good point. Like, I mean, you may be right, some places tutorial may be missing as well, but I think tutorial, of course, a lot of developers like to go through that first, but if it's missing, that's one point. But there has been feedback about this out-of-date part as well. So there has been a more often, and I won't say exactly or only for tutorial, but like various kind of even the code, or even the, let's say in some README or some place they go and they want to make that code running, and that code won't be running anymore because this is like all the libraries or the Cardano core has changed and things like that. So things are various libraries are not updated, create various issue, and we do have this challenge across the Cardano core libraries, different places, keeping them in the sync, and also, some of the things like there's the IOG repository, Intersect repository, which one is final, and even we know like sometime, but then that's problem, this problem. So we are in transition right now in some way for the core repositories side, and also the various open source initiative we have are in still a little bit early stage to fix these some sort of problems, I would say. And but this point, just acknowledging, Newman, that yes, we have heard about this thing, or this feedback has come that there are various kind of, whether it is documentation, stock tutorial, or some of the libraries are getting out of date, and ownership or the updation part is kind of need to be looked at. So trying to come up with the plan and process around it. So I'm just acknowledging it right now. Not have full-fledged solution, but we are working, and I know that some of the committees are working around it. Sorry, Newman, you have any comments?
Yeah, sure. And just to share a story, and possibly it resonates with the other, learners, junior developer learners out there. You find a tutorial and you start working through it, you get some way into it, and then it breaks, and you start the learning process. You kind of ask around on the Discord, or now we've got AI tools that sort of have their own issues. But one of the things that I learned to do was to, just like you said, try to go upstream and find the source or the final, like where is it coming from, and getting to know where it all is, and then looking for when it was updated. And I would, before I didn't know anything, and I would find tutorials from 2 or 3 years ago, and everything had changed. And even with the things at the Gimbal Labs, our courses would break fabulously because of dependencies and updates from, for instance, Cardano Node and CLI. And then it's a real task to go through and update these courses. But what doesn't change is one's student learning target, your learning target, like the thing that you will be able to do. And so, just to reflect on what Alex, it's really important, and I think a fundamental shift in mindset is that we come to this learning process focused in on what we call student learning targets. It's like, what is exactly that I want to learn, and keeping that in front of mind. Yeah.
Good. No, thank you. Yeah. So that, I think, reflect on this oral thing. That's yes, learning should not stop, and of course there will be challenges. And in Cardano, I think it's a great space with the both combination of challenges and opportunities, kind of the thing. So on one side, as a developer, we face a lot of challenges. On the other side, as a developer, now we have opportunity to contribute for the new developer and bring more developers on board, or have better experience for the the new developers, kind of the thing. So that's kind of we are taking in that mix, because most of the developers here are not very experienced, right? But then still they come here, show up, and have the energy, and they're already working on these few things to make life easier for themselves as well as for the new generation or the next developers coming on board. So yes, yeah, let's work with that spirit.
Yeah, so things that could be done is to contribute to existing project-based learning, and if there are members of this group who would like to do something with Cardano and don't know what, going through the course and finding where it breaks and fixing it is very kind of good contribution opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's good point. Alex, will you then point them that where they can kind of
Project
participate?
based.
Yeah, can you just share the link?
Newman, if you could actually lend me your hand, because do you have this
Yeah.
handy? Thank you.
Sure. I'll drop it in.
Thanks a lot. Because we've been working on these courses for quite a long time. Ewan is very humble about it.
Fair enough. So these are let me make sure that that's an actual link. Try this. So Gimbal Labs is an open source and community, and they work with an app or a tool called Andamio, and this is where all the courses and projects that we work through are kept. So that, I think that should show you, it's fresh out of beta. So I think that should show you what is all available there.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I closed the notice. Yes, team.
And
I think Andamio is very familiar to me as well. So please, everyone should explore. And it's kind of, Alex also mentioned, if you can work on contributing there and, even giving any feedback there, what is missing or what you like, that would be great. Yeah.
yes, and there are at the Gimbal Labs calendar, there, like Alex had said, that going through the courses, you can do it solo, but then you find other people going through and support in what we call live coding sessions or tech stand-ups, but weekly live meetings that happen there, specifically for answering those questions. A lot of time they take on an AMA or an Ask Me Anything question, and the more senior developers in the community are always around to help, and they have set time so that you can schedule the time. It's not like, even though if you go on Discord, sometimes people help, but you always know that there are these scheduled times. And I feel like this is a replicable model to really help people learn in this new environment with all these issues that we've highlighted. That's basically what our Gimbal Labs driver is. It's like what our mission or our vision is to help people get into these what we call spaces and learn how to develop on Cardano, but really in any way.
Awesome, because exactly like from our feedback and reading some research papers last week, finding a good way to start is the most ubiquitous challenge in open source projects. And so yeah, Gimbal Labs and project-based learning and Andamio now provide this opportunity, especially for asking questions, is just incredible and very important to be able to communicate, to be able to express what is actually going wrong. Like 80% of the time when I had an error trying to ask a question in Discord, I was able to solve the error just writing text about the error, what is going on. And that, like, looking at the text that I wrote actually helped me. And I've seen this multiple times on Discord where someone would post a message and the next message would be, "Oh, sorry, I just figured it out."
Yeah. In the process of just trying to figure out how to communicate the problem. Yeah,
Exactly.
a lot of it has to do with that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for sharing the link, and hopefully the team find it more useful. And we have now very few minutes left. Any other agenda, Alex, we need to cover? And anyone, if you have any quick question or any more feedback?
Uh, I can share some learning experience that I had earlier while learning Cardano. I found few documentation about building transactions, but the issue was it was before the conway era, so the way of building it was different. So it took me a while to figure out why it was not working, and in that process, I learned not only to build it in current era, but how to build raw transactions and all the other details uh, associated with it.
So you think it was good, huh? Not
Yeah,
up to date, it was.
it kind of made me understand exactly what was going on. So it didn't limit me to just a single block of text.
Okay. Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice way to see and very positive. Thank you. While I'm happy for your experience, which is great, I'm still a little bit concerned in a way that maybe not all the developers are passionate like you, right? And in that situation, if we losing some developer because they have bad experience, that we are trying to fix it, kind of thing, yeah, basically that's the key point, because we want any developer who first will come the, okay, you heard about Cardano, yeah, let me explore, and I get kind of learn and develop, be developer of Cardano, and then they start finding so many challenges, and if they drop, that is the issue. Like those, some of like you continue despite the challenges, that's great. That's what we definitely need it, but we also need the people. We don't want the other people to drop, kind of thing, right? So we need rather now your help, how to stop those people to dropping. I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, but good. Thank you, Aditya, for sharing your experience. That was a bit unique. Thank you. Good. Good. So we had quite few things covered. I think was not enough structure today, but I think yet we had a few target of few things, like we talked about specific developer tools being built and initiatives, and we covered on a little bit on the, at least brainstormed on these couple of topics about the documentation and project-based learning. What is going to happen in after a couple of weeks, or maybe after this month, I would say, we're going to come more engaging aspect of the developer experience contribution point of view from all of you. And there are various targets or objectives. Somewhat it came in this discussion already, and we need to be a bit more structured. We need to share some responsibilities. So instead of hurrying, we are like taking some time, even for you guys as well, everyone involved here. So, explore like some of these Andami or Gimbal app, some of these things which are available in the ecosystem already, and also bring your own perspective. So we appreciate that as well. So if you, like we talked about Srijit, Ryan, Sumit, they're working on building their own kind of approach to learning for the, or training the new developers. I think that should be factored in, and maybe they can learn from Andamio Gimbal, or Gimbal and Andamio can learn from them. Oh, that's what the challenge, that's the thing. And we as an open source committee and developers advocate learning from you, getting this feedback, very important, because I mean, we can decide anything, everything, but I think the more important is the how developer feels and how they experience. That's matter more. So that's why we will continue encouraging you to stay involved and participate, and really appreciate all of you. And most of you or half of you really been a regular, so appreciate that much more. And hopefully in the next call also you will be around there. So really thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for joining, and for a nice presentation. Great project, very helpful to people who use VS Code, because without syntax highlighting is just not a good developer experience, and other things like the auto-completion and other features. Yeah, I think it's a nice project.
Yeah, Rightly said, Alex. So thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for participating. And this call will happen after 2 weeks, but there's another one next
Tomorrow.
week. The bit is
Next week.
Yeah, next week on Thursday. But that's a bit late for India time or this time zone. But you can probably check it from the Intersect calendar, that part, and it will be available. And we are hoping to kind of make some more announcement in next 2 weeks time. So it will be really great to stay connected. So thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.